$100 plus a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code BETTER and get 15% off your first purchase with code BETTER, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME Deodorant.com, code BETTER for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME Deodorant.com, code BETTER to save 15% today.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Zero, zilch, nada. Now at Royal Buick GMC. That's right. Get into a new lease with zero out of pocket. Lease the 24 GMC Terrain for $389 a month or the 23 Buick Envision for $399 a month with zero due at signing and all taxes and fees included. Plus, save up to $15,000 off a new GMC Sierra 1500 or get into a new 24 Buick Encore GX starting from $19,990. Pay zero out of pocket with a new lease now at Royal Buick GMC. See dealer for details. Leases are 24 months through GM Financial. OAC, mileage charge of 20 cents per mile over 10,000 miles per year. Sierra and Encore OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options and $529 doc fee. G7689, G7960, B33605, B33725. Offers end 9/3/24. Zero, zilch, nada at Royal Buick GMC in the Tucson Auto Mall or RoyalTucson.com.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is everywhere. Wildcats fans can listen to us everywhere on our all-new app. Now available from the Google Play Store and the App Store for iPhone users. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. It has been a massive offseason for Tua. In fact, you could even call it the summer of Tua. And no, I do not mean Hawk Tua, although you could also definitely call this the summer of Hawk Tua. But I'm not here to talk about 15 minutes of vulgar fame. I'm here to talk about the guy who signed a contract for $212 million, a.k.a. the real Tua. The real Tua let out some real fire when he appeared with Dan Le Batard. And he lit his former head coach, Brian Flores, up, calling him, quote, a terrible person, end of quote, and saying that he basically would tell him every single day how bad he was at his job. If that's true, and that's B-Flow's idea of how to coach dudes up, that's not going to work. I don't know whether Flores was trying to do some old hoodman, cosplay tough guy act because of his old boss, Bill Belichick. I just know that if that's how that went down, that is really, really dumb. Greatest coach ever with the worst coaching tree ever. Get in on the summer's biggest moments with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Download the Prize Picks app today and use the code ROME, R-O-M-E, for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code ROME for a first deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly. Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff!
All right, let's talk some Arizona Diamondbacks. But first, I want to give you that question of the day again because it involves two games that are going to be starting here not too far in the distant future. So you've got a really short window on this question of the day today. Again, if you've been following along, we've been running a lot of promos for BetQL. A lot of their information is dispersed on our airwaves daily. And so BetQL's, their two top bets today are the Reds on the run line in Toronto today and the Mets on the money line at home against Baltimore. So which of those bets, the question of the day, which of those bets would you take? The Reds on the run line on the road in Toronto or the Mets at home on the money line against Baltimore? All right, the Mets on the money line right now is 130. Minus 130 is what they are. And I'll get you the run line for that other game as well. Which one would you bet? Head on over right now to our website or our Twitter account, Wildcats 1290, and you can bet on that. And you only have 40 minutes because the first of these two games starts at 4:07 and the other one starts at 4:10. So both of those games are going to be starting here in the next hour. So it's a very quick question of the day today on which one of these you would like to take. We'll update it again coming up here shortly.
I'm not so sure about which one of those I would take, DK, but I do know that the Reds lost to the Royals 7-1, 13-1, and 8-1 in their just finished series.
Was that a home series or a road series?
That was a home series.
Yeah, see, they're not very good at home. That's why they said
clearly
take the Reds on the road on the run line.
Well, the trend checks out.
And it's minus 205. It's minus 205 so the run line, if you're not familiar, the run line is where you take you're essentially taking the Reds plus 1.5 in this ball game. So you're getting 1.5 runs to start at minus 125. So just to give you an indication, if we bet our 1290, which is kind of going to be our standard bet all season long when we're doing this, you're not winning a bunch tonight. if you bet at minus 205, if you take the Reds at 1290, you're only going to win $6.30. So that's not a lot, but that's one of the plays that's out there tonight for you.
Yeah, the Blue Jays aren't great.
No. The other play, again, is the Mets on the money line at minus 127. So neither one of these is probably going to net you much. That at 1290 right now will net you $10, which I think is about what it was last night on the money line with the Dodgers. I think I won like $9 or something of that nature. So your choice, which one of those would you take? We'll get back to that coming up here as we inch past and get closer to first pitch on one of those two games, which I believe the Reds and the Blue Jays is at 4:07. The Mets and the Orioles is at 4:10. All right, 3:40 though, first pitch in Miami for the Diamondbacks and the Marlins. And last night, the Diamondbacks brought the bats out, and in particular, it was the rookie Adrian Del Castillo.
Del Castillo gives it a ride. Deep center. Way back and gone. It's a grand slam in Miami for the Miami rookie. Boy, the expression on Torey Lovello's face in that dugout, he is beaming down there. And the kid who handed out tickets to virtually all of downtown Miami just hit a grand slam out of here, and it's 4-0 Diamondbacks.
And if you're confused by why Steve Bertium on the Diamondbacks television network was saying the Miami rookie, that's because he is a Miami native, Adrian Del Castillo. He played his college ball at the University of Miami. So a homecoming for Adrian Del Castillo. It does not get any better than hitting a grand slam. Or does it get better than hitting a grand slam? Because he would come up later with two runners in scoring position.
Del Castillo, his first career grand slam in the third, way out to center.
Boy, have yourself a night right here, young man.
He's already knocked in 4 runs. Base hit brings in 2 more, and there it is. Del Castillo again. Here comes Gurriel. The throw is not in time. Adrian Del Castillo has knocked in 6 runs back in the old hometown.
6 RBI night for Adrian Del Castillo, who is hitting .333 since being called up from AAA with 14 RBIs. Now get this, according to stats, Del Castillo is the 3rd Major League catcher to record at least 6 RBIs and a stolen base, because he stole a base last night, in a single game. The 3rd Major League catcher ever to record 6 RBIs and steal a base.
Yeah,
one of those guys you know, the other one you're probably not going to know.
It's the wheels part of that equation, I think, that is lacking.
Yeah.
Not a lot of catchers who can steal a base.
Jerry Grody did it in 1981. I remember Jerry Grody. And then a guy by the name of Johnny Bench did it in 1974. 6-1 at that point for the Diamondbacks. Now, the Marlins would amount a little bit of a comeback, but with a man on, how about Jake McCarthy?
Jake's been carrying the ball just like he was still a running back at Scranton High School. Since July 1st, he's taken over 360. Been a key cog in this offense. Can't get him out of the lineup. And McCarthy hits a fly ball deep to right field. There it goes. Jake McCarthy, upper deck in Miami. That's his 7th, and make it 9-4.
Just clobbered.
Clobbered indeed, Tom Candiotti. 9-6 was the final. Jock Peterson also hit a home run. Diamondbacks, a Major League best 29-13 record since July 1st. Get the win to quickly stop their 3-game losing streak after they were swept over the weekend by the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Torey Lovullo on his young catcher and the special night that he had with 6 runs batted in.
He didn't back down from the challenge. He had an army of people here supporting him. Hits a grand slam after hitting a foul ball grand slam. You don't see that very often, but he's just in a locked-in spot, and it was a special moment for him. He filled all his columns today. He even stole a base. But it was a great night for him, and he paced us, and we needed every bit of his offensive support tonight. It was a left-on-left key base hit that really broke the game open. I know Jake's home run was the icing on the cake, but Dell's 2-run single left-on-left was a great moment as well. So he's doing everything right. He's working his butt off to make it happen as well. We're about creating traffic, giving ourselves opportunities, having the right people in the right spot come up and slug, and that's what happened tonight. It was the grand slam, it was the base hit by Dell, it was the home run by Jake. Those were big moments for us.
Indeed they were. Diamondbacks again win by a score of 9-6. Corbin Carroll didn't necessarily have a great game last night, but he has been, things have been improving for the young outfielder. He's starting to raise his average up. It's still kind of low, but 219, 13 home runs, 50 RBIs. Torey talked about his young outfielder, the struggles, the highs, the lows.
Corbin's doing a great job. I know he's been on a tear. The month of August has been a great month for him, and it's not just him slugging the baseball. It's him seeing the baseball, seeing his way on base via some patient approaches. So he seems to be in a very good spot. And when he gets on, he's an instant run at times, and that's what we love about it, hitting him at the top of the lineup.
15 of 61 is Corbin in August. Not bad. 5 home runs, 11 RBIs, and he's walking. He's got 7 walks in those 61 at-bats, too. That's what you want to see. Corbin getting hot as we get down the stretch of this season. Paul Sewald still trying to get him right. He pitched last night. Torey on Paul's performance.
Paul's continuing to work and find a positive result or two per outing, and he's gonna keep building on that. And we need Paul to be at the very back end of this bullpen. So he's going to continue to get the ball and work through what he's going through, and we're seeing it improve in bits and pieces.
Not a great ninth inning for Seawald. Of course, he's on my fantasy team, so that wasn't good for me. No wonder my ERA was so high last night. 2 earned runs on 3 hits in 1 inning through 13 pitches, got knocked around a bit. Paul Seawald still trying to figure it out, not necessarily getting any high leverage situations right now, although Ginkel and Thompson did appear in that game, and Seawald finished things out, came in with a 9-4 lead, so not a safe situation, and still trying to work through his issues. Diamondbacks get the win. Again, first pitch is coming up at 3:40 our time. Eduardo Rodriguez will get the start. 1 win, no losses, 5.06 ERA. He'll start his second game, the second game of this series, a 3-game series. Edward Cabrera will start for the Marlins. He is 2-4 with a 5.76 earned run average. At the start of play tonight, the Diamondbacks are in 3rd place in the National League West. They are 4 games behind the Dodgers, 1 game behind the San Diego Padres. All of those teams won last night, so no gain or no ground gained. The Padres still in 2nd place in the wild card. They now have a 3-game lead over the Atlanta Braves, who hold the 3rd wild card spot. So essentially they're 4.5 games up in the playoffs, because the Mets are the team right now sitting outside of the wild card, and they are a 1.5 off. 4.5 off the pace of the Diamondbacks and a 1.5 off the pace of the Braves.
You mean the Mets with the biggest payroll in baseball, those Mets?
The Mets.
Oh, okay.
With the biggest payroll in baseball, the Mets, who are our question of the day today. Will you take the Mets tonight on the money line, or do you want to take the Reds on the run line? Head on over right now to our Twitter, which is Wildcats 1290, and you can decide which way you'd like to go on that. We're going to start giving you more now that we're kind of getting into this BetQL, and we're actually going to be adding another one that we're going to be talking about, a betting service, Underdog. So stay tuned for that. We're really excited about Underdog is going to be joining the platform here as we get into college football season. We're going to be doing some things with them. So we'll have a lot of different betting information for you to try to go out there and get you your money. So here's what I'm doing, J-Dub. Well, actually, I'm going to we'll wait. I'll let you know at the top of the hour, right before things close up there with this whole thing and we get to first pitch. I'll let you know which way I'm going to go. Coming up, though, Dave Cosgrove, the head soccer coach at Pima College. We'll talk some Pima Aztec soccer. That's straight ahead. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the Fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported Wetmore and Flowing Wells in Wetmore. Speedway near Kolb, east of Kolb Road on Speedway Boulevard. Oracle and Steam Pump Way in Oracle. Do have a 15% chance of rain this afternoon, about a 25% chance of rain around 8 tonight, and 104 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. At Cool Willie's Plumbing, they'll help you with drain cleaning, water treatment, sewer repairs, and replacements. Trust the big guy. Contact Tucson's most respected plumbing experts at CoolWillies.com, where they are big enough to help and small enough to care. That's CoolWillies.com. CoolWillies.com.
Escape the ordinary and indulge in a world of excitement at Park Place Mall. Discover endless possibilities with over 100 stores, restaurants, and entertainment options. Join them for the monthly Kids Club, Yappy Hour, and seasonal events. From fashion to food, it's all at Park Place Mall, where you belong.
DJ on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Cricket, did you know that you had a World Cup?
Straight! We're going to have a super over!
Is that like soccer?
I don't understand any of it. I don't understand the terminology. I don't understand. Left-armed seamer, can you believe it or not? He caught a slip.
You don't want to catch a slip.
I don't know what any of those
That's
things
not good at all.
But congrats to the USA for defeating Pakistan.
Yeah, I like the left-hand seamer, though. That sounds like a good thing.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hi, I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Recently, Lerner & Rowe was named the second most influential law firm in the United States. Although we have offices in other parts of the country, Glenn and I both live here and raise our families here. We are your local law firm. No other law firm in the state comes close to the experience, reputation, and results as Lerner & Rowe. When you're hurt in a wreck and need a check, call the law firm that can get you the results you need. Call Lerner & Rowe.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Is this house a good price compared to others in the area? Are prices going up or down? If I don't make an offer right this very moment, will I miss my chance? These are just some of the questions a home buyer might ask. And these are the sorts of questions an agent who is a realtor can help answer. Because realtors have the expertise, data, and access to specialty training to help you navigate the process of buying a home. They provide support, guidance, and have your back every step of the way. That's what realtors do, because that's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Head to Mattress Firm's best sale of the year, the Labor Day sale. Get a king bed for a queen price, save up to $700 plus a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220 or biglou.com.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute, sponsored by Wrangler. It's Wrangler season out there. Open roads, endless horizons. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles. I want to go back and talk some more about Tua Tagovailoa. I mentioned earlier today that he went in on Brian Flores and called him a terrible human being. A number of you have come back at me saying this is evidence that this guy is soft. Get out of here with that. I'm Jim Rome.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Keep it twisted all year long with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea is real iced tea that packs a punch with 5% alcohol. Tastes great at the beach, the mountains, or even in your backyard. Look for the bright yellow Twisted Tea cans.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. The fall is quickly approaching. We've got soccer happening. Football's just around the corner, and things get going this week for Pima men's soccer. In fact, they'll be on the pitch tonight up at the West Campus for a little scrimmage, and we are joined by the head coach of the Pima men's soccer team. His name is Dave Cosgrove, longtime soccer guru here in Southern Arizona. And Dave, you guys have a match coming up tonight against the FC Tucson 0607, so that would mean that those kids are around 17, 18 years old. Is that how, if I understand my soccer year named teams, how that works correctly?
I think you understand it better than I do. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a collection of the best, players in the city, both high school juniors and seniors. So a lot of kids we're recruiting.
So again, yeah, and that's interesting. You mentioned that you're recruiting a lot of kids. So not only is this an opportunity for you to see your team, but it's an opportunity for you to see up close how these kids play in a very, a very high-packed pressure environment against older players.
Yeah, it's a terrific opportunity. Being associated with FC Tucson Youth Soccer has always given me a real avenue into some of the best talent that Southern Arizona has. So we're able to track kids from when they get into high school all the way through high school and kind of, try to handpick the kids we think that fit our program. And obviously we've had tremendous success with the Southern Arizona kids. So we're excited to see what it's going to look like tonight, that's for sure.
Well, and you talk about, obviously, FC Tucson, your involvement with them and some of your kids that were playing on that team this summer that had a chance to go all the way to the national semifinals. We've talked to DeAndre Pickett a number of times with your team, and then as well again this summer. And Ismael Ruiz was on that squad. Brandon Sanchez also played this summer for FC Tucson. And then your old goalkeeper, Nils Roth, really impressive down the stretch in that playoff run. First of all, let's start with Nils, because we had a chance to talk to him during the summer, and to be able to bring him back onto your staff. What have you liked about the work he's been able to do with your keepers and what he's meant to you in the coaching aspect of it?
Yeah, we're very fortunate Nils has come back to us. He married a Southern Arizona girl. He met actually at Pima College when he was playing here. They have a couple beautiful young kids. So, he's kind of tied to our community now, and he brings an expertise and kind of an outside opinion. Obviously, growing up in Switzerland gave him a different perspective on development and the way the game's played. So, to be honest, I've been a experience for me. He's highly educated, very professional. He's happy and self using the pick up on how to approach, how to training. So, a great day, Pima College. This time, just there.
Dave, we're having a little bit of an issue with your phone line right now. It's kind of going in and out on us. I'm not sure exactly. Maybe if you're in a good zone, we'll get one more question in here and see if it doesn't improve. We'll try to maybe see if we can get a better connection from you. But just talking again with some of those guys who were on that FC Tucson, the team this year in terms of the players. We mentioned Brandon Sanchez, DeAndre Pickett, and Ismael Ruiz. What were their takeaways from having that opportunity to play with that side this summer and almost, and really do something that FC Tucson had never done? I mean, we'd had all those years in the PDL where they'd gotten close to winning a Western Conference championship, but never could get over that hump. And for three of your guys to be a part of that team that finally was able to do it, what did that mean for them?
Yeah, hey, sorry about that glitch. I think it's better now. But actually, probably people prefer for not to have to hear from me too much, especially talking about soccer. But I'll bore you guys for a little bit longer. What a great experience for our kids. They were some of the youngest kids on the roster playing with some older, more mature players. But I can tell you in the 4 months they spent there, they're completely different players in terms of their maturity, their confidence, It's a great environment, and I think hopefully we'll see the benefits of it because what they accomplished this summer, I think, set a really good standard and expectations, and I think hopefully that will carry over to the Pima season as well.
Pleased to be joined by Dave Cosgrove, longtime head coach, Pima men's soccer. They'll be on the pitch tonight for a scrimmage up at the West Campus coming up here in just over an hour, 5 o'clock against the FC Tucson 0607 squad. And then the season will begin this weekend on the road against Scottsdale Community College. Dave, when you talk about, obviously, this roster that you've got made up, once again, it's littered with kids from Southern Arizona, but again, also a lot of international kids. You've got kids from Switzerland, South Korea, Spain, Norway, Sweden, Ireland, Mexico, Germany. Are you actually going over and watching any of these kids play? Or are you like saying, okay, I'm taking vacations and just going and watching kids play soccer all over the world?
Yeah, that sounds like a perfect plan. If I was a little bit smarter, that's probably the way I would have planned it. But, yeah, we have about a roster of about 34 kids this year, and 7 are international. So we have about 20% of our kids that are international. We kind of handpick them, and we work with people we know in those countries who have sent us players before, so they're completely reliable. For instance, the South Korean kids, we've had a great connection with South Korean kids before. So when we get recommended a kid, honestly, we just look at the video, looks right to us. We trust the people that we work with. So, I like to say I'm doing all this legwork and traveling. But the reality is it's a couple phone calls and a lot of good faith and people around the world helping us out a ton.
How do you, again, we obviously talk about international students, and we deal with that a lot of time in what we're talking about from the University of Arizona. But just even talking with Ken Hakami last week, this is a situation where, a lot of these kids are coming over and they're not getting the same types of things that if they were going to a Division I's in terms of their housing and some of the other stuff. How difficult is that to get those kids set up here to be able to play and to be able to be comfortable with their new life here at a junior college?
Yeah, most, and I think we're seeing it in a lot of sports. We're seeing it definitely in junior college, and I think it's going to trickle in to the NCAA, especially in some of these sports like men's and women's soccer and some of these other sports, maybe tennis, across countries, where the international student is becoming a big part of those programs. And of course, the local example would be the men's basketball at the University of Arizona. Coach Lloyd has done a tremendous job recruiting international students. So that is becoming a lot more prevalent. And of course, soccer being one of the biggest sports in the world, there's a ton of kids who want to come to America. So we're fortunate. As you mentioned, I've been doing this a long time. So bringing in international students, we've been doing it for a while. We handpick just a few. The backbone of our program is still always going to be Southern Arizona kids. But we're fortunate enough that we can handpick and choose from. We probably get 200 to 300 kids trying to get here a year from other countries, and we pick the ones that fit with what we want. In terms of getting them here, honestly, these kids are awesome. These kids are so dedicated academically. They make such a big decision, move halfway around the world, invest in their education, invest in their soccer. So they're totally committed academically and athletically. We don't have to do a whole lot to keep them motivated. But this particular group we have of players at Pima, and in particular international students, are some of the best kids and some of the most fun kids to be around that I've ever been around in my 25 years at Pima. So it's a great group, and we've really blended the international flavor to go with the local kids here.
We're chatting with Dave Cosgrove, the head coach of the Pima men's soccer team. A couple of national championships in the last decade, and looking to maybe win another one here this year. First of all, Dave, in terms of we've been talking to all the coaches. Ken last week, Dan was on the show Friday. Thoughts on the new changes, the expansion to the conference, and now play strictly between the divisions in the conference. How does that affect your roster, and how does that affect your team and the way that you approach the season?
Yeah, I think we're in a unique position. It doesn't affect us much. Obviously playing schools that have the same resources or close to the same resources is probably a little bit more fair across the board. But we competed at the Division I level with, schools that had 10 times the recruiting budget, had housing, had food plans, had all sorts of other advantages that we haven't had. In 2018, we won our first, national championship as a Division I, where we went, and I think we were the only team there that didn't have dorms, and we were the only team at the national tournament that didn't have at least 50% of their kids be international students. So for us, it hasn't changed much of what we do or how we do things. I know it has a bigger impact on some other programs, but we've been fortunate. Southern Arizona is such a good place to get local, good, talented soccer players that we've been able to compete Division I, Division II for, the last 25 years.
Dave, after 2 years of hosting the championships here, the Division II championships for both the men and the women, that event will move down to Alabama this year. Just your overall thoughts on that 2-year run, and is that something that you think we'll see here in Southern Arizona again in the future?
My guess is we will see it. Obviously, the facilities at Keno, the weather, the way the tournament was run by Pima College and our athletic department was first rate. I get a lot of compliments across the country as I talk to these coaches. So I think there's a real opportunity. If they want to bring it back, they can. We didn't perform that well, to be quite honest, at home, which was, something I felt very, bad about. I thought the coaching, especially last year, could have been better from us. So it's a challenge for us to do a little bit better job. And if it does come back, I want to make sure that, I do a better job with my teams performing in front of the home crowd and making sure that we can showcase what we've done at other places at home.
Real quick, Dave, give us a couple of the top freshmen that you're going to have on your side this season.
Yeah, it's a tough year coming into Pima because we were so young last year. We returned 2 All-Americans, and I think we returned 8 of our 11 starters plus a bunch of quality kids off the bench. So coming in this year to be an impact player as a freshman is probably more difficult than it has been in a long time. But we're fortunate we got a couple ones, and they're local kids. Robert Castaneda from Nogales, a left-footed winger, has performed way above our expectations, and he is definitely fighting for a starting position. And then we brought in Ethan Mencia from Sunnyside. Sunnyside has a really, really top-level boys soccer program, so no surprise that one of their best players is going to come in and impact our program right away. But he's done very well. We anticipate both those guys, if not starting, playing massive amount of minutes. So, those are the 2 that I think that will really probably break through and help the team right away.
Outstanding, Dave. Well, hey, Dave, we always appreciate an opportunity to talk to you. We'll talk to you again as we get going into this season, and best of luck getting things going here with 2024.
Hey, I appreciate all your time as usual.
Dave Cosgrove, the head coach of Pima Men's Soccer. Again, the Aztecs will be on the pitch up on the West Campus tonight at 5 o'clock against FC Tucson, the 0607 youth squad, and then they'll start their regular season on the road at Scottsdale on Sunday night. Both the men and the women will be up at Scottsdale on Sunday. So I would imagine we may see a lot of that this year where the men and the women travel together. The men will play at 6. The ladies will play at 8 o'clock. We'll get Kendra Velez on as well coming up, the women's soccer coach over at Pima later in the week. 520-848-1290 is our phone number. If you want to get in on the show, we got a quick question of the day, which is going to end here in about 10 minutes or so because we've got baseball starting on the East Coast. Okay, I've given you 2 bets tonight. The Reds on the road run line. The Reds on the road taking the run line is a winner almost 66% of the time. Or the Mets at home to beat the Orioles on the money line. Those are both the 5-star bets today from BetQL. We'll tell you how that's going in terms of what the public thinks, and I'll let you know what I'm going to do here in the next hour. It's DK on the Sports Tip. JW Madden is here. Cricket as well. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions at a reported Ina and Meredith. Meredith and Ina, some westbound slowing. Wetmore and Flowing Wells. Kolb Road and Speedway on Speedway east of Kolb and in Oro Valley, Oracle and Steam Pump Way. Country Club and Speedway was an earlier reported vehicle fire. A 15% chance of rain this afternoon, 25% chance of rain around 8 or so tonight. 104 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A., copyright 2024.
I juggle a lot. And managing constipation with belly pain from my irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, with laxatives and fiber isn't enough. My doctor recommended a way to get ahead of it. Then I said yes to Linzess.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
1290 has earned the right to be named after the Arizona Wildcats. That's why you'll never see us skip leg day.
Haven't had a carb since 2004.
1290 is the home of the Wildcats. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are Tucson's home for Arizona men's basketball. From live coverage of weekly press conferences to the Tommy Lloyd Show, no one covers the Cats like we do. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 2 of the program. You ever watch The Flintstones? And there was this one episode where Fred had a little bit of a gambling problem. And Barney kept asking him, do you want to bet? and he would say bat 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 bat.
That sounds like the bird.
That one always comes to my mind when I think of gambling is the Flintstones and Fred like just losing his mind on a bet.
Gambling on how much rubble would come out of the quarry that day?
Exactly. I don't even remember what. We'll have to see. I'll see if we can find that one. I'm sure it's on YouTube.
It had to be
Everything's on YouTube, right?
Pterodactyl races or something.
Yeah, they were. It was something. It was something for sure. All right, so we got two bets now. Two bets we were wagering on our Twitter for our mini question of the day. I'm calling it mini question of the day because it ends here in about 4 minutes because the first game starts at 4:07, and that is the Reds and the Blue Jays. And the first bet is the Reds on the run line. BetQL, which we partner with, they had 2 5-star bets today, and one was the Reds on the run line on the road, which apparently is like a 67% bet, or the Mets at home on the money line to beat the Orioles tonight. So we're putting this out to you. You got a few more minutes that you can vote on this on our Twitter account at Wildcats 1290. Right now, 100% of you saying that you're going to take the Reds on the run line, and that is what I am going to do. I'm going to take the Reds on the run line plus 1.5 on the road against the Blue Jays at minus 205. So you're not winning a lot on this bet. Our wager is $12.90. We're betting $12.90 on that to win like $6.12, I think, is what it's going to be. So that's how I'm going on that. The Reds on the run line. Now, again, we did this last time. We said we're going to do this once a day for 7 days to see exactly how good these people at BetQL are in the information they are distributing. So last night's bet was Dodgers on the money line. That paid off. The Dodgers won. They beat the Seattle Mariners 3-0. So that paid off. I think we won $9 on our $12.90 bet there. And so tonight it'll be $12.90 to win 6 on a minus 205 with the Reds and 1.5 runs on the road against the Blue Jays. Also, J-Dub, we've been talking about, I put this down, we've been talking about Noah Fifita and the Heisman. So Noah Fifita's Heisman odds are plus 4,000. Okay, plus 4,000. So I went ahead and did that this morning. I put that down, $12.90. So we put down our $12.90 on Noah Fifita plus 4,000. And if that wins, that's going to win $529 to which we will donate. Well, after I take out the company's $12.90. We'll donate about $500 to one of Noah Fifita's charities of choice right there. So we said we were going to do it, and dang straight, we are doing it for Noah Fifita to win the Heisman Trophy right there. All right, 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. The Diamondbacks are off to a good start tonight in Miami. They are leading 1-0 over the Marlins. That game is in the second inning. Jock Peterson has driven in a run for the D-backs, so they're trying to win game 2 of that series. Hopefully they'll get it done. Again, we appreciate Dave Cosgrove for taking some time to join us on the show. The Pima soccer team, always one of the best programs here in Southern Arizona, and they will have a scrimmage tonight and get their season started this weekend. There was something I was going to ask you, J-Dub, and it just slipped off the top of my mind, so I'm going to have to come back to that. Other things that are going on.
I'll be ready.
I'm sure you will be. Other things going on for Pima College as they start their seasons. The women's volleyball team will scrimmage at home on Wednesday at 4. The women's soccer team will also scrimmage on Wednesday, so both the ladies' teams will be out there on Wednesday. That'll be tomorrow. 5 o'clock, the soccer team, the ladies will also a scrimmage in FC Tucson side tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And then the ladies will head out on the ladies volleyball team will head out onto the road at the New Mexico Military Institute. They go to that tournament every year. They'll play 2 games on Friday, 2 games on Saturday over there. So they'll get 4 games in this weekend. And then the soccer teams will be up in Scottsdale on that. I believe I said Saturday, but those matches are actually Sunday night at 6 and 8. Pima men's and women's soccer will open up their seasons. All right, coming up a little bit later, we're going to talk some Arizona football with Glenn Howell. Glenn Howell will join us. I do want you to, though, we had a chance to hear from Marquise Groves Killebrew. We've been talking a lot about Marquise Groves Killebrew this training camp. I mean, he began opening eyes from practice 1 at cornerback. And this is a young man who's on his 3rd school. Started at Texas A&M, then transferred to Louisville, played a year at Texas A&M. And well, let's just go back before that, because he was actually committed out of high school to go to Georgia initially. And that fell through. He committed to Georgia, and then on the eve or signing day, or on signing day, flipped to Texas A&M. Did go down there, played in 3 games his freshman year, left there to go to Louisville, which is his original home. He's originally from Louisville, so he's going home to play for the Cardinals. Played just 1 game there last season, and now has found himself at his 3rd school in 3 years here at the University of Arizona, where it appears at the moment he is going to start at cornerback for the Arizona Wildcats. Let's hear from Marquise Groves Killebrew about how he got here to Tucson.
A guy I met at UGA named Cam Lemons. When I hit the portal, he had hit me up, and he connected me all the coaches in here.
And then, how would you describe your time in Tucson so far?
Man, I love it. I feel like this definitely been the best place for me, since I got to college for sure.
What's been your favorite part?
Man, everything. It's different from life outside of football, and even the coaches here, like Coach Akina. I ain't had a coach like him ever. He really be on me.
Just following up on that, you were a pretty big recruit coming out of high school. You're just your 3rd stop here in college. Why do you think things didn't quite click for you at your previous schools, and what might be different?
Really just last stop. I was homesick. I wanted to go home, and then really injuries. But I feel like I'm back 100% now. I'm ready to go.
Injuries?
Yeah.
What was the injury that you had in the past that was slowing you down?
I had a nagging groin injury that was messing with me at Louisville.
And how do you feel physically?
I feel great now. I feel the best I felt since I got to college.
When we had Noah Fifita up here, I asked him about Coach Carroll and how he's kind of helped him along and helped the other players on the roster along in terms of in the weight room and new things you guys have learning from him. What are your guys' take on that in terms of what has he helped you with, and how has he helped you in the weight room and development?
Man, I feel like Coach Carroll, he really helped us with our mobility, our hips and all that. He's really big on that. I feel like he's helped us a lot in that aspect.
Marquise, what can you say about your childhood and your upbringing growing up in Atlanta?
I was originally born in Louisville, Kentucky, but I say I moved to Atlanta. It was just really football. I moved to Atlanta, one goal, just go attack my goal in football for real.
What's it like to go up against T-Mac in practice, and how has he looked in the training camp so far?
I've been knowing T-Mac since middle school, so I've been knowing he's special, but getting up here and seeing how he's improved definitely been a good thing. I definitely feel like I'm getting good work guarding him.
Was that the 7-on-7?
Yeah, 7-on-7, all-star games, all that. Him and Noah, yeah.
Are there cornerbacks in the NFL that you guys study?
Say A.J. Terrell, Tre'Davious White, Jalen Ramsey, them my main 3 guys, and Jair Alexander.
Well, I asked Coach Viney about Coach Akina, and he was talking about just how detailed he is and how much focus he puts on being a smart player and having good fundamentals. What's it like to be coached by him? What are some of the things that he talks about a lot?
Man, Coach Akina, he's definitely going to teach you ball, the ins and outs of football, what the offense is thinking, what the receiver and quarterback's thinking. He's helped me a lot in that aspect.
All right, Marquise Groves Killebrew, defensive back, 6 foot, 185 pounder. He's a redshirt sophomore. Again, this is his third year in college football. Played a year at Texas A&M, then Louisville, now here. And he heard him mention Cam Lemons was the reason that he got here. Cam Lemons was actually on staff here as a GA and quality control recruiting assistant for the Jed Fish staff, although he's no longer on staff. Clearly, he still knew some of the coaches, and probably Brett Arcee probably might have had a hand in that as well. Is the lone holdover from the staff from before, but Marquise Groves-Killebrew has played very well. Has showed a great ability to cover. Has got the skills, and it sounds like just from hearing him talk that he's healthy for the first time in his career. And that's so important because you wonder, it's like, well, you see him out there for us and you wonder, it's like, man, this kid can clearly play. What's been the issue at these other schools? But it sounds like it was an injury thing. And now for the first time in his 3-year career, he feels like he is completely healthy. And that's a good thing for the University of Arizona because he looks like he is going to nail down that boundary corner spot opposite Tacario Davis to give the Wildcats a couple of guys out there that can really hold down receivers in this new Big 12. All right, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290, the number to get in on the program, joined by the third member of our team, Cricket. Cricket, happy National Radio Day. Did you know that today was National Radio Day?
Yes, but more importantly, it's also National Bacon Lovers Day.
National Bacon Lovers Day.
Happy National Radio Day to you, my friend, my radio fan.
I think I might just want to, I think we might want to just go with the National Bacon Lovers part of that because I love me some bacon for sure. Are you a bacon eater? Do you like, is that your thing?
I do enjoy bacon, but it's so messy. And it's so hot in my house, so I'm waiting till it gets a little cooler. Like, just getting everything hot in the kitchen is just not fun. And I'm messy anyway. Do you like bacon?
I love me some bacon, that's for sure. I have no problem eating the pork.
Oh, yeah.
Not at all. So, National Radio Day, what do you like? So, is there anything about this day that you kind of like sit back? Do you sit back and you reminisce about anything in your career at all?
No, I guess I'm just like, hey, I guess I'm lucky I've had a job for this long.
Right, exactly.
Right,
Gainfully employed for a long time in radio. That's the biggest thing. Especially, I've got friends at WCBS in New York who don't have a job as of the end of this week. So that's
ouch.
Yeah, that whole thing's happening.
My favorite cricket story is the first story.
Yeah,
that wasn't radio, right? It was television.
Oh, I never did TV.
No, but whatever that thing was with Mr. Kimmel. In the helicopter and all that. Like, that's my favorite cricket story.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel worked at a radio station here in town in like 94, 95. He hired me as an intern, and I never actually flew in a helicopter. It was a Cessna.
In a plane.
It was a
but
Cessna
I like it to be a
172.
helicopter because it's cool.
Okay. And I had to kind of beat on
helicopter
my
sounds
chest
better
to
than
sound like
Cessna.
I was actually broadcasting from a helicopter. Yeah.
They do that for real.
Yeah,
they do that for real. I always worry. I've one of my friends. I have one of my frat brothers. He flies one of the helicopters, traffic helicopters for one of the Fox TV affiliate in Cleveland.
Ooh,
I always worry about him when he goes up for that thing because I've never liked helicopters or anything like that. And I was like, I just pray for you. I tell him, I pray for you every day, brother, that you're going up in that thing, that you come down safely because some people have not.
About the airspace above LA, like ever since OJ, they've just like every time there's any kind of news story that has anything to do with some kind of breaking event, there's got to be 15 or 20 newscasters up there trying to cover it all at once, and it's just gotten worse and worse over time. So I just imagine like the area above any of those situations has to be just brimming with a bunch of helicopters trying not to run into each other.
So it's fitting that it's Happy National Radio Day because I totally forgot to we talked about this yesterday, but yesterday was my anniversary of the beginning. My career began, my first job, my first gig, August 19th, 1991. So my 33 years. I'm 33 years old in the business as of yesterday. Yeah. So thinking back, Porterville, California, KTIP 1450 on your AM dial. K-tip, what I think it was, I'm trying to remember what the slogan was. 1450 KTIP, serving Porterville and proud of it.
Nice. Oh, I like that you remember it too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There you go. J-Dub's always got the music for us. He'll get us kicked off Facebook and All the other platforms that we belong to now, they've already kicked us off Twitter.
Little River Band's past the statute of limitations. I don't think anybody's coming after us.
They're not. Yeah,
I think you're okay.
GMI or whatever they're called, they're not coming after us with the Little River Band.
It's no, I think it's SMI, which
There
is
you
like
go.
Sony Music. They're very litigious.
So happy National Radio Day to my team here, Cricket J-Dub, and happy National Radio Day to all of our friends out there at the competitors as well.
Oh, you're nice.
I try to be.
You're nice.
I still want to kick their but you know. But happy National Radio Day to you while I'm out here trying to kick your butt.
You're a good kid, man.
Exactly. And Cricket's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Collisions reported 6th and 22nd on 6th Avenue south of 22nd Street. A crash at Ina and Meredith with some westbound slowing. More westbound slowing on Ahaway at Mission and also on the westbound I-10 merge onto southbound I-19. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Pima County and northwestern Cochise County till 4:45. 104 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by KFC. When it comes to KFC's latest saucy nuggets lineup, this drip don't quit. Take your pick from Chipotle Ranch, Mango Habanero, Honey Garlic, Korean Barbecue, or Honey Barbecue, and get 10 saucy nuggets for just $5.99 each. It's finger-licking good.
Not all sports stations are built the same way. 1290 has Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball, plus the NFL and the Super Bowl. Tucson trusts 1290. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com. Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Need a little help? O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. Need advice? We've got advice. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Exceptional customer service. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
O'Reilly.
You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Wildcats fans from coast to coast can bring a little bit of Tucson to themselves wherever they happen to be by streaming 1290 on our website at wildcatsradio1290.com. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
I'm Omar Reese with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Commanders making it official Monday, announcing rookie Jaden Daniels as the team's starting quarterback. Head coach Dan Quinn saying they knew they'd get there with him, but they were excited to see how he did it. Quote, seeing him hit all the spots, this is a rare competitor. Washington selecting Daniels with the second overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. Meanwhile, good news for the Chargers. Justin Herbert back on the practice field Monday for the first time since July. Herbert has been sidelined with a plantar fascia injury in his right foot. Head coach Jim Harbaugh saying he thought he heard the voices of angels when Justin Herbert returned to practice. Pass rusher Matthew Judon addressed the media for the first time since recently being traded to the Falcons from the Patriots and says he's not pushing for a new contract with Atlanta. Quote, I can't really demand or ask for anything I haven't worked for, and that's where I've been my whole life. I'm going to work for it. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Let's go to the phones right now and talk to our guy, Paul in Phoenix. Paul, you're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey, David. Hey, JW Cricket. Happy National Radio Day. And David, one day late. Happy anniversary for you for your radio.
Thank you very much.
All that good stuff. That's awesome. That's great news. Hey, I was just mentioning to JW, and maybe I'm opening my big mouth, but I'm a happy Wildcat fan right now because it looks like the Cat Cruiser from Phoenix is going to be back on again for this year.
Well, there you go. They just needed to work out the logistics, I would imagine.
Now, they're probably there's talk that it could only be a 1-year thing, but obviously things can be, if we show some fan interest and get some of the, whether it's the West Virginias or the Baylors or the whoever team we're going to be playing in years to come, get those fans involved from Phoenix. It's a cheap way to watch a game and sleep in your bed that night. How about that? Come back from a game. So, but and then. I know there's no times on any of the games, except for the first, 3 games, of course. But there was rumors that people are talking that, all the U of A games are going to be night games. It's like, what? People don't know that stuff yet. Have you heard anything like that?
Like, you mean in terms of all of the games or just the home games?
Like all the home games are going to be night games. Well, I don't know how they can determine that.
If that were to happen, and I don't know how that's all going to play out. But if that were the case, I think that would be just completely hilarious because how many people thought that moving to the Big 12 was going to create all these better time slots for the University of Arizona, and then their first year that they play in it, all the games are at night. Because at least in the Pac-12, apparently usually there was maybe one a day. But, when you think about it, think about it this way, Paul. We already know the first 2 games are at 7:30 and 7. Okay,
right.
Then you already know the game in November against Houston, which is a home game, is at 8:15. So that's 3 of your 7 games there. You already know are going to be night games. Arizona State. We don't know about that one, obviously. We don't know what's going to be the deal with West Virginia. That would be a late October, so that could potentially be an earlier game. Colorado the week before that. Homecoming. I don't know. Has homecoming ever been early? It's generally not any earlier than 4 for
I
homecoming.
remember it being early. Yes, I do remember it being early, and it was awkward because it was one of those, where they have the parade and morning and all that other stuff. But I do remember it being early like that. I don't know how long ago it was.
The thing is that, Halloween is generally considered these days to be the date where you can look behind you to the heat.
Right.
And there's only one game not scheduled past that date, which is the Territorial Cup.
Right.
So if you're thinking about logistics for the viewers across the country who might want to catch an Arizona Wildcat game aside, how hot it is on the field on the opening kickoff has to be the first thing that they think about, right? And I think that's the logic behind it.
Don't we have a game? Aren't there 2 home games in November or no?
There's Houston, but that is the game we already know is starting at 8:15.
It's already scheduled for 8:15 kicks.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean.
That's
is that there's only one game after Halloween that is yet to be determined. That's the Arizona State game.
But let me ask you this: so if I'm an ESPN, producer guy, right? Okay, and they're looking at each other saying, "Well, here we're thinking day games, but who's going to watch football? What games are we going to put on Saturday nights?
Right?
Who's left to put on? It's us."
Yeah,
and those people in Tempe, because there's got to be a late night. There's got to be a game that starts at 6 or 7 at night, because the East Coast will be like, oh, so our football day's done? Are we done then? You know what I mean? I mean, so who's going to play? It's going to be us, because USC and UCLA, there's a chance. Yeah, they could have a home game, but at the same time, they could be back at Rutgers or Penn State or wherever they happen to be. I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. So
Big 12 after dark.
Yeah. Big 12.
There you go. There you go. That's it. Hey, guys, getting excited. That just kind of made my day that the Cat Cruiser's back online again, because I'm lining up all my rides down there, and everybody's.
If I may for one moment, Paul, listeners, Paul visually impaired. Is that a correct way to determine it,
that is
okay.
I'm legally blind, but I still go to the games. I listen to the radio, and I watch through special goggles.
So those who don't know, Paul is visually impaired and has been to every Arizona football game while living in Phoenix for the past 900 years, because he's gone via the Cat Cruiser, which this year they were thinking about potentially discontinuing. So anybody out there with the wherewithal and means to do so, there are some fans in Phoenix. If they discontinued after this next year, might not be a bad idea to buy a bus and just drive it around to people's houses and pick them up and drop them off at the Arizona Stadium, because people like Paul are what make this program go.
That's it. That's what we need. J-Dub, thank you. It's funny. I must admit, I did miss a game. It was 2021. It was UCLA. It was my high school reunion, and I gave up the UCLA game, and I have friends who still tease me about it. So, I can't believe you missed that game. I said, well, high school reunion, I'd never gone to any of them. It was my 40th, so I did go to that one. And it's interesting. The same person who I went to my high school reunion with, he and I are going to the West Virginia game on October 26th together, okay? And it's only fitting that my high school, this is going to sound a really weird way to get to this, but my high school's theme song or fight song is the same fight song as West Virginia back in the day. So whoever started our school, Shadow Mountain High School, back in the day, obviously was a West Virginia grad. And they had no idea how to write a fight song, so they stole West Virginia song. And there you go. That's that. So, but I will be there, God willing, in all the games this year. And my brother Phil, and we're hoping to have a little surprise this year, because last year we had a little difficulty, but he's got a surprise that we're going to try to do, and we're going to bring it over to your guys' area before the game and all that good stuff. So we'll be doing that type of stuff. I'm excited, and I'm such a homer, but I'm excited. So
outstanding. Well, we look forward to seeing you, Paul, for sure.
Yep, you got it. You guys bear down, take care, and I'll check in with you guys next week.
Absolutely.
Bear down, Paul.
Paul in Phoenix, joining us as always with news that the Cat Cruiser, which we had talked about a month ago or so, didn't look like it was going to happen, but apparently it is now going to happen. and we'll be back up and running. I wonder if they got pushback on that. We'll have to maybe do some digging and see if folks called and complained and that kind of thing, and maybe the numbers or whatever, if they had a target number that they needed to bring it back, they got to those target numbers, and that was the reason that it did so. So that's good to hear.
If you're looking at budget crisis and you're cutting things, something associated with fan support, might not be the best thing to cut.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Let's talk to David. David, you are on Wildcats Radio 1290 DK on the Sports Tip.
Hey, DK, how's it going? So I get most of my good U of A stuff from you. Appreciate that. And the Wildcat Authority. Now, I was wondering, so the Wildcat Authority, they really can't put anything out anymore, because I was wondering what your opinion was. They said that you were responsible. Mike Luke and Jason Shearer said that you would not stop reporting about the Wildcats and spring training, so now none of the reporters can report. Is that true?
I don't talk about those guys. If you want to believe what they put out there, then you're more than welcome to believe it. But I have no reason to report or to talk about people who are jealous and who wanted a job that I got that they didn't get. So that's where we are on that, Dave, and I appreciate your call. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program.
So just to clarify, practice is open and you can report on it for the first 3 weeks. And then after a certain date, obviously, as you get closer to the first game, the coaches are going to start working on some more specific things that they don't want getting out there in case the next opponent could maybe do some homework and gain an advantage over something that's some press person. So universally, you're not allowed to write what you see in the practices after a certain date.
Correct. That's exactly how it works. That's exactly how it's always worked.
Everybody is under the same purview, not because of something.
Did practice get closed a little bit quicker than we thought it would get closed? Yeah, it absolutely did. We thought maybe it would stay open for another, or at least through the end of last week, but that wasn't the case. There's reasons for that, and we've talked about those reasons. There's a lot of question marks about what's happening on the offensive side of the ball right now. It's not exactly at the moment looking like we thought it was going to look. And so that's where it is. We'll get a depth chart on Monday, and once we get a depth chart, we'll be able to kind of begin to clarify a little bit more about what's happening as we head into game one on Saturday. But again, and we'll talk with Glenn Howe coming up here in the next hour. We'll get his thoughts on the offense, the defense. We're going to talk tight ends. We're going to talk linebackers. But, yeah, there's question marks as we go into this season. There's positives, but there's also negatives. And we have never run from the negatives on this show, and we're never going to run from the negatives on this show. And we're going to tell you what we see. We're going to tell you what we believe. I've been analyzing football, folks. Like I mentioned, I've been analyzing football. I've been doing this for 33 years. I'm not going to stop doing it the way that I've done it for 33 years. So there's lots of opportunities. There's lots of different choices out there for you. If you want to go and listen, you have the opportunity to listen to whoever you want to listen to. You want to listen to us, that's fine. We'll give you the best analysts in Tucson. No one else is giving you the analysts that we give you. No one else is giving you the history of Arizona football that we're giving you. So if you want to go and listen to a couple of guys who, as I said, wanted this job and don't have it, then feel free to go do so.
What if I want to go down to like university and park and listen to somebody holding a sign who hasn't had a shower in 6 months, yelling at the clouds? Should I listen to that person?
Exactly.
Probably not.
Exactly. Probably not. Definitely not. 520-848-1290. We're going to get into much more Arizona football. Dwayne Aquina spoke today. We'll let you hear what Coach Aquina had to say. Always great to hear from Coach Aquina. Cricket, though, right now, you want to hear from her because she's getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collision at Ina and Meredith. Meredith and Ina's clearing. Some slowing westbound Ahaway at Mission. And also the westbound I-10 merge to southbound I-19. Severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Pima County and northwestern Cochise County till 4:45. And 104 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. At Cool Willie's Plumbing, they'll help you with drain cleaning, water treatment, sewer repairs, and replacements. Trust the big guy. Contact Tucson's most respected plumbing experts at coolwillies.com, where they are big enough to help and small enough to care. That's coolwillies.com. coolwillies.com.
Here at O'Reilly Chevrolet, we want to thank you, Tucson, for helping us celebrate 100 years of serving our community. And we want to thank the Tucson Fire Department for helping us put out the cape.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Hi, welcome to Staples.
Yeah, my daughter needs a laptop for college, but I need to watch the budget.
Well, Staples hot deals on tech are backed by a price match guarantee, so our prices won't be beat.
Great. I can't believe my baby's starting college.
She'll do great.
I know.
Oh, let's get you a great deal on a laptop.
Save big on tech for school at Staples. Now get up to $300 off select PCs. N-Say-24 price match guarantee valid within 14 days of purchase. Exclusions apply. For details, visit staples.com/price match.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care with an instant savings offer just for radio listeners. So if you need tires, right now is the time to save big on every tire brand and over 25,000 tires. You'll save big with manufacturer's rebates, and radio listeners unlock up to $200 savings on tires when you visit jackfurriers.com/radio. Huge savings on tires just for radio listeners. But you've got to visit jackfurriers.com/radio to unlock this special offer, which saves you more. Who thought you could get paid for listening to the radio? Jack Furrier has tires for your car, truck, 4x4, CUV, SUV, EV, hybrid, trailer, RV, even your wheelbarrow. All 14 of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's award-winning locations are standing by and ready to help with the very best prices on affordable tires and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there. But make sure to get your extra instant savings at jackfurriers.com/radio.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8695. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8695. That's 800-575-8695. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Zach Gelb with Sports Minute, sponsored by Wrangler. It's Wrangler season out there. Open roads, endless horizons. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles. The Raiders have named Gardner Minshew their starting quarterback. Wherever Minshew goes, he's a fan favorite, but clearly he's not a long-term option at the QB position. So keep an eye on the Raiders trying to sign Dak Prescott, trade for Kirk Cousins, or draft either Carson Beck or Shedeur Sanders after this lone season of Gardner starting for the Silver and Black. I'm Zach Gelb.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
Keep it twisted all year long with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea is real iced tea that packs a punch with 5% alcohol. Tastes great at the beach, the mountains, or even in your backyard. Look for the bright yellow Twisted Tea cans.
Twisted Tea Blue Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. In fact, text the word app, APP, to 520-848-1290. We will shoot you a link to download our app, and you can take that app wherever you go. Got all kinds of information. All of our interviews are on there. In fact, I'm sure J-Dub already has our interview with Dave Cosgrove up on the app, so if you missed that from earlier, you can head on over to there. And,
I am efforting it as we speak.
See, I shout you. I knew I probably should have just waited to see. For sure.
It's because I'm training too,
yes,
so I got a little extra to do.
You are. You can read about the Diamondbacks placing Ketel Marte on the DL. He'll go on that. Obviously, re-aggravated that ankle injury over the weekend in Tampa Bay, so you can read a little bit about that, as well as you can read about the career day had on Sunday by one Nicole Dallin of the Arizona soccer team, and she joined us on the show yesterday. Great chance to talk to Nicole. And how about some awards for Nicole today? Nicole was named the top drawer soccer player of the week, as announced by the organization, Top Drawer Soccer. She scored 5 goals in Arizona's first 2 matches, including 4 in the home opener against Pacific. First Wildcat since 2002 to score 4 or more goals in a single match, and is right now the nation's leader in total goals. So congratulations to Nicole Dallin, the Top Drawer Soccer player of the week. We were talking about that yesterday. They mentioned there she's the first since in 22 years to score 4 goals in a game. 2 players have scored 5 goals in a game for the University of Arizona. And ironically enough, it happened in back-to-back years, back in 2001 and 2002. And so she's the first to score that many amount of goals since those 2 young ladies did it in 01 and 02. So apparently the Wildcats had some pretty dynamic scorers back in the day for this program. She is definitely creeping up on the record books with what she's done in these first 2 games, and it's going to definitely be fun to watch her kind of chase that this season as we move through it, trying to get there. Kelly Nelson was one of the Wildcats that scored 5 goals in a game. Christy Larona was the other Wildcat that did it. And again, they did it 23 and 22 years ago. So congratulations to Nicole Dallin for winning that prestigious award for Player of the Week.
You know, Leo Messi scored 4 goals in a game 7 times in his career, DK.
Mm-hmm.
And that's maybe not the best goal scorer, best player I ever saw play. But scoring 4 goals in a game at any level, you're rattling off the stats of how many times the Arizona Wildcats have done it. That's so rare, right? I mean, we all know, obviously, football is not a high-scoring game. 4 goals by one individual is super rare.
Super rare indeed. And you got to be really, really talented to make something like that happen. I'm still trying to find out what they call. Okay, so we found out that 4 goals in a game is called a haul. And I was looking this up. 5 goals is called a glut. Have you heard that? J-Dub, glut?
I've heard the term, yeah.
Yeah. That's 5 goals. It says, however, it's important to note that hat trick refers to scoring 3 goals in a single match. 4 as a whole. 5 is a glut. 2 is obviously a brace. So that's, I've never heard of glut. I've never heard that term. But again, I don't know that I've ever been around anyone who scored 5 goals in a game. I scored 6 once in first grade. I don't even know what 6.
I don't think I've ever scored a goal. I've played like hundreds of soccer games, but I always played fullback. So I was not up in the front to score
You were in the
goals.
back. You weren't a forward, huh?
I had the strongest leg on the team, and they said, get the ball and kick it that way. And that's what I did.
All right, I want you to play. We had the caller, David, who called on the last half hour. He wanted to talk about why practice is closed now for the Arizona Wildcats. But I want you to hear from the head coach because the Wildcats are not going to have any type of public scrimmage leading into the season. Sometimes in the past, they would do that the week before the first game. So that would be this weekend once all the students got back on campus. They might have something. I forget what they called it in the Rich Rod era, but they had a name for it that they would have the open scrimmage on Saturday night, and students could come out and watch, but they're not doing that this year. Brent Brennan talked about why they're not doing that this year.
What about just in terms of having an open practice for fans?
Well, we'd done that, our first few months here, you know what I mean? And then as it goes, I think for me, I'm always trying to figure out what's, one of our major, kind of standards for the team is protect the program. And so if when we do that, if there's a lot of information getting out there about what's happening in the practice environment that I think is not going to serve us, then I have to make determinations on how to corral that. And so that would be why. But, I think, we've had a big group of donors at every practice so far this training camp, and that's been real positive. And, early on in camp, we had a lot of fans. And so I think people have had a lot of access to our program. I feel good about that.
That's the head coach talking about it this week. That was actually after the practice on Saturday night at the stadium in which the Wildcats scrimmaged. So there will be no open practice for fans this year. Your first opportunity to see the club will be when they take the field Saturday night, the 31st of August, against the New Mexico Lobos. But you can hear the coach. His first coach's show is coming up this Monday at the Union Public House. 6 o'clock, it'll be the first coaches show of the season. Brent Brennan and Brian Jeffries will be talking football for you, so you can head on out there. The coaches shows will be all this season again on Monday nights at the Union Public House. Looking forward to hearing Brent Brennan's thoughts weekly throughout the season here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Pulling weeds, Brian. It's time to get back to work.
Exactly. Brian was out at practice today watching the Wildcats. Got a chance to get over there and see about 45 minutes of the workout today, and we'll dive more into Arizona football coming up in the 5 o'clock hour when Glenn Howe joins us. We also got a chance to get out to Arizona volleyball over the weekend, and I wanted you to hear to one of the young ladies that we had a chance to talk with, and her name is Amanda DeWitt. She is one of several transfers that is coming to the program this year. We talked a little bit about Kieri Roby last week, who is transferred into this program, a middle blocker. DeWitt is more of a hitter, opposite side, and she has come here to Tucson from South Florida, University of South Florida, to play her final season at the University of Arizona. And we caught up with her after the red-blue scrimmage on Saturday to find out how you heard from Marquise Groves Killebrew, who's from Louisville, how he ended up out here. How did Amanda DeWitt end up here in Arizona playing for your Wildcats?
Yeah, so I entered the portal after the spring, and I was really just looking for a strong team culture, and I think Rita's really developing that here. It's very high intensity. I came from USF, so I'm coming here Power 4 now, which is pretty cool. It's really exciting to see what we're building here and how we're going to bring that into the Big 12, and I just wanted to be at a school where I could have an impact in that, and yeah, I came on visit here and I fell in love with the mountains and everything. Like, what's not to love about it? I only have 1 year left, so it was kind of like, I'm going to take the risk and head out west.
And Rita said that you're doing a lot of, like, she's talking to you about why you do things.
Yes.
What are you learning?
Yeah, so the program really does challenge me. I think all the girls are kind of in the same boat with that. She's really pushing you to actually use your brain and use your volleyball IQ, which is something that I haven't really seen. I spent 3 years at my last school, so being here, being like pushed to actually think about the reason why you do things rather than just doing them, and like the technical side, it's like the mental side of actually like why you do things. So it's pretty cool. Definitely a different coaching style than what I've ever experienced before, but in the best way possible.
When you look at the recent records and obviously no NCAA tournaments, what jumped out to you about the culture?
Yeah. So I came on a visit here and I met Anna and Elena, and they really just had like nothing but positive things to say. So even despite, I think it's really, honestly, that's the hardest part. When you lose, like, you want to hate each other, but like you want so bad to just like, be mad and blame other people. But here they're like, no, we really don't have that many problems. Like we're all just like in here day in, day out, grinding and working hard. We had some great freshman additions and even Chiari, another transfer too. Like we're all a part of the same path and we want to be good so bad, and we are going to finish top 3 in the Big 12 this year.
So everybody else has got it wrong that says 12th, right?
Mm-hmm, I know, yeah. They're doubting us, but just be ready.
In terms of the play, why do you think that is, that this team's going to be a lot better than maybe people think?
Yeah, we are a really competitive group of girls. I'm sure, as you just saw here, like all the sets were pretty tight. Even at practice, we are just like always competing. We do mini games in the beginning and then we compete at the end. Even during training, like we're just seeing who could get to 10 perfect passes fast or anything. Like we just want to win all the time. So
Amanda DeWitt from South Florida here in Tucson for the final season of her career, playing at the University of Arizona. Get a chance to talk to her. The ladies will be on the road this week. They're going to go play an exhibition game down at Northern Colorado this weekend before they come back. And again, they will have 2 tournaments here in Tucson, beginning with the Wildcat Classic, which will be the same weekend as the Arizona football home opener. So that'll be next weekend. The ladies will be here to open up the season. Looking forward to seeing how year 2 under Sharita Stubbs will go.
Top 3.
Top 3. Let's hope so. Top 3 in conference, you're saying, Big 12?
That's what she said. Top 3.
That's what she said.
Top 3.
That's right. Well, there you go. Amanda DeWitt is aiming high.
As they should, DK. As they should.
So Cactus Classic will be next weekend for Arizona volleyball. Boise State will be the first opponent to open the weekend on the 30th of August. That'll be Friday night at 6 o'clock. They actually will play 3 matches in this tournament. A lot of the tournaments in the past, the Wildcats have only played 2, but they're going to play all 3 days. They'll play Virginia Commonwealth on Saturday. That'll be an early game at 12:30. So actually you'll have doubleheader on Saturday. I didn't even realize that. We'll have volleyball at McHale Center at 12:30, football in the evening at the stadium. So you'll have a chance to maybe do a little bit of both. We don't get a lot of that here at home in Tucson, where they play 2 games on the same day, but an opportunity to see both Arizona volleyball and Arizona football coming up on August the 31st. And then the ladies will also play on Sunday at 12:30 against Tennessee State. All right, DK on the sports tip, 2 hours in the books, 1 more hour to go. We're going to talk Arizona football extensively with our guy, Glenn Howell. We'll break down the tight ends. We'll break down the linebackers. All of that is straight ahead. Cricket is here as well as J-Dub. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported at Orange Grove and First Avenue in Orange Grove, Alvernon south of Grant Road, Gates Pass Road west of Camino de Oeste, and also Ina and Meredith and Ina. A severe thunderstorm warning for south central Pima County and western Santa Cruz County until 5:15. And it is 1:03 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Qdoba.
Steak it up a notch with new habanero lime steak from Qdoba. Grilled steak tossed in habanero sauce, lime juice, and fresh cilantro. The perfect hit of heat to spice up your entree. Here for a limited time only. Order today at Qdoba.com or download the app.
Are you ready to adopt? Come to the Humane Society of Southern Arizona. When you adopt from us, you will save more than one life. You'll also make room for the next pet in need. The Humane Society of Southern Arizona has been compassionately serving pets and the people who love them since 1944. Our knowledgeable adoption matchmakers will help you find the right pet for your home and support you after you adopt. We are open 7 days a week at our main campus at 635 West Roger Road. Learn more and see adoptable pets at hssaz.org.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
1290 has earned the right to be named after the Arizona Wildcats. That's why we grind harder than anyone else in Tucson to cover the Cats. 1290 is the home of the Wildcats. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care with an instant savings offer just for radio listeners. So if you need tires, right now is the time to save big on every tire brand and over 25,000 tires. You'll save big with manufacturer's rebates, and radio listeners unlock up to $200 savings on tires when you visit jackfurriers.com/radio. Huge savings on tires just for radio listeners. But you've got to visit jackfurriers.com/radio to unlock this special offer, which saves you more. Who thought you could get paid for listening to the radio? Jack Furrier has tires for your car, truck, 4x4, CUV, SUV, EV, hybrid, trailer, RV, even your wheelbarrow. All 14 of Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care's award-winning locations are standing by and ready to help with the very best prices on affordable tires and no hidden extras. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there. But make sure to get your extra instant savings at jackfurriers.com/radio.
Marco Polo. Hoping to find new customers online can feel like playing Marco Polo in the dark. Plumber. Right here. Plumber. Right here. Let Cumulus Boost help spotlight your business. Boost your website. Boost your findability. Boost your reputation. Boost your business. Get a boost. Get found. Get on the map. Contact us today at cumulusboost.com.
What's with the earmuffs, Gary? Holy cannoli. I just got back from a house with the loudest AC I've ever heard.
In other words, it wasn't installed right.
It must have been installed upside down for all that noise.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
If your air conditioner sounds like...
It could sound like...
We stop vibrations so your AC runs smooth and cool. People all over Arizona are singing about the Grizzly.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
Shh! Hear that? I don't hear anything.
That means...
The Grizzly's doing its job, keeping you cool with barely a purr. We believe ACs should sound like this.
Because we do things the Alaskan way, not the cheap way.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now, but I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SCORE for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SCORE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SCORE.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are Tucson's home for Arizona Wildcats football. From fall camp to the Territorial Cup, we bring you all the action of Arizona football. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 3 of the program on this Tuesday. So glad you could be with us. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. National Radio Day. Gotta love that. I don't know that I've ever heard of National Radio Day, but I'm happy to celebrate it for
There's
sure.
a national day for everything these days.
Isn't there really? I remember I was on a website about a month ago, and it listed like 6 different national days for just that one day.
You think they have fights? Like if it's like National Cupcake Day and National like Cherry Pie Day, you think there's 2 different competing groups who swear by the idea that one's better than the other?
Absolutely.
How dare you eat a cupcake on National Cherry Pie Day? That sort of thing.
Let's see. I wonder if we can find out if there are any other national. What are today's national days? I'm sure I forget the website. What national day is today? Let's pull that up real quick here and see what we got. Besides National Radio Day, there was that one day. There was quite a few. So we've got. No, that's later this week. Okay. We'll look for this. We'll look for this a little bit later. Right now, though,
I'll find it for you.
Yeah, please. Thank you. We want you to hear from Steve Kerr, who spoke yesterday at the Democratic National Convention, the Arizona Wildcat basketball legend, class of 1989, J-Dub, or 88?
88 is his senior year. He missed his first senior year with a knee. So, 5-year with a medical red shirt.
Yeah. So, Steve Kerr, who just got done coaching the national team, the men's national basketball team, to another gold medal at the Olympics in Paris. He has won 4 NBA championships with the Golden State Warriors as a head coach. I believe he was on... Was it 6 as a player?
5 in a row, right?
Between the Spurs and the Bulls?
Yeah.
So this is a guy who knows a little bit about winning at the highest level. And here's what he had to say in his speech yesterday at his former home as a player, the United Center, where the Bulls play, where they won some of those NBA championships. Here's what he had to say at the Democratic National Convention.
Thank you. It is so fun to be back here in the United Center. And as you guys know, a lot of good stuff has happened in this building, especially in the 90s. You young people, Google Michael Jordan and you can read all about it, okay? So there was an amazing vibe in this building back in those days. And I feel that same winning spirit here tonight. So the last time I was in a packed basketball arena was in Paris, France. 9 days ago, some of the best players on earth, 12 incredible American men, came together to win Olympic gold. And the next night, I was back in that same building watching 12 more of the best players on earth. Our incredible American women do the same thing. And I cannot think of a better metaphor for what this country is all about than the way Team USA came together at the Olympics. We had players from across our wonderful country, players who have trained and fought relentlessly, shed tears trying to beat one another throughout their careers, joining forces to wear the red, white, and blue. And when we won, the American flag raised to the rafters, the national anthem playing, gold medals draped around the necks of our players, whose hands were held over their hearts. It was the proudest moment of my life. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I could never have imagined that a few days later I would receive an invitation to step into a different kind of arena. And so here I am. I know very well that speaking out about politics these days comes with risks. I can see the shut up and whistle tweets being fired off as we speak. But I also knew as soon as I was asked that it was too important as an American citizen not to speak up in an election of this magnitude. The reason I said yes to speaking here tonight is that as a coach and former player, as a husband, a son, a father, even a grandfather, and as an American, I believe in a certain kind of leadership. I believe that leaders must display dignity. I believe that leaders must tell the truth. I believe that leaders should be able to laugh at themselves. I believe leaders must care for and love the people they are leading. I believe leaders must possess knowledge and expertise, but with the full awareness that none of us has all the answers. And in fact, some of the best answers often come from members of the team. And if you look for those qualities in your friends or your boss or an employee or your child's teacher or your mayor, then shouldn't you want those same qualities in your president? And when you think about it that way, this is no contest. With Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, I see all those qualities. They have devoted their lives to serving other people. Whether Vice President Harris was defending her community in the courtroom, or Governor Walz was inspiring the next generation in the classroom, or on the field, for that matter. By the way, coach to coach, that guy's awesome. Although, I have to say, Coach Walz, way too much reliance on the blitz in '99 against Mankato East. You had a strong defensive line. I would have played more press coverage with your corners and then dropped the safeties into a Tampa 2. That's just me. Sorry. I wanted you to know how I feel every day of the NBA season, all right? But listen, the joy, the compassion, the commitment to our country that we saw at the Olympics, that is what Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have. And it is what our country needs. Leadership, real leadership. Not the kind that seeks to divide us, but the kind that recognizes and celebrates our common purpose. Think about what our team achieved with 12 Americans in Paris, putting aside rivalries to represent our country. Now imagine what we could do with all 330 million of us playing on the same team. Not as Democrats, not as Republicans, not as libertarians, but as Americans who know the greatness of this nation doesn't come from any one of us, but from each of us doing our part to build a more perfect union. That vision is what this campaign is all about. It's why I'm here tonight. And it's why I'll be getting out every day to help people get out and vote on November 5th and elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as the next president and vice president of the United States.
Coach Kerr.
And after the results are tallied that night, we can, in the words of the great Steph Curry, we can tell Donald Trump, night, night. Thank you.
Steve Kerr speaking last night at the Democratic National Convention, Arizona Wildcat grad. It'd be interesting to see what the list is of Arizona alums who have had that opportunity to speak at a Republican or Democratic national convention.
Like I said yesterday, Steve Kerr's life doesn't make sense to, outside of the Forrest Gump scope of things. Because, when his father, Dr. Malcolm Kerr, was assassinated, President Reagan invited him to the White House.
Yeah.
Right? When he won with the Bulls, he was invited by George Bush Sr., then George Bush Jr., and then Clinton, and then Obama. Like, he's met every single president in his lifetime from 1984 on. So Steve Kerr, I don't know if Steve Kerr falls in the category of general Arizona Wildcat and how many opportunities. He's lived a very odd life, just like Forrest Gump, man. It's so weird. It's so weird for me because I grew up and I watched Steve Kerr make 30-footers as a skinny freshman when he stepped on campus in McHale Center. I watched him shoot three-pointers, DK, from Steph Curry range before there was a three-point line. And so to see him speaking, he was always very eloquent with his words back in those days. But, yeah, the idea of him having interacted and met every president since the mid-'80s, it kind of in some ways doesn't make sense. But in the scope of all the success he had in the NBA, DK, it does.
Is did Geraldo go to school here? Is that what no, he didn't go to school here, did he?
I don't know if he went to school here. I do know he lived here and had some affiliation here.
I thought there was something with Tucson and Geraldo. Well, he is. They have him listed here as an Arizona alum, Geraldo Rivera. I don't know that he's ever spoken at an RNC or a DNC though. But I would think when you think about it, he might be one of the people that would be on that list.
Sure.
Geraldo Rivera would be. And then I know there's a younger Republican commentator now, young lady whose name escapes me, who graduated from the University of Arizona. But I don't know if she would have been at a level where she would have spoken at the RNC. But
how about Bob Baffert?
Bob Baffert. Is he, I don't know that has he ever spoke at one of those?
Well, I'm just saying, like, you talk about super famous people who could make waves by being invited to speak in an event like that. I mean, those are the kind of names that come to mind.
Interesting. If you have the answer to that question, we'll certainly take it here. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. What other great Arizona Wildcat grads have spoken at a national political convention, whether it be the Republican National Convention or the Democratic National Convention?
I heard one Harvey Mason speak at a national entertainment event not like 7 months ago when he gave the keynote address
at the
because he is in charge
the Grammys, right?
Of the Grammys.
Exactly.
He's the president of the Grammys. So yeah, he spoke
that
there.
Harvey Mason, president of the Grammys, one of the if not the top American music award shows that there is. I mean, that's pretty impressive in its own right. We'll have to see if obviously Harvey's kids have graduated out. He was a staple on the campus during the last decade when both of his children were playing ball here at the University of Arizona. But they've graduated out, and I think both of them are married now or about to be married. So good good things have happened for the Mason kids, and it was a joy to watch them play here over the course of both of their careers.
I used to love watching
in basketball and beach volleyball.
Harvey Mason Jr. play because, he might have been the 8th, 9th guy on the bench especially for that 87-88 year. So when Harvey got extended minutes, it meant the Cats generally were up. He wasn't like a garbage time player at all. I'm not trying to shortchange him. He definitely was a in the rotation. It's just he was maybe because Kenny Lofton was on that team. There were a lot of guards on that team. So, I just the fact that so many people are talking about Coach Kerr and Harvey Mason were both on that same team together. Look where they are now.
Yeah. All right, we're going to talk some Arizona football. Wildcat Breakdown with Glenn Howe is straight ahead. Keep it here. Wildcats Radio 1290. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. Collisions that are reported Wilmot and Carondelet and Wilmot, Orange Grove and First Avenue and Orange Grove, and also Alvernon and Grant with some backups on Alvernon at Grant Road. Also more slowing on Grant west of Dodge Boulevard due to road work. There is a severe thunderstorm warning for central Pima County in southeastern Arizona until 4:45. 103 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com.
Casino-style games. Chumba Casino is your go-to destination for nonstop entertainment. Play for fun and play for free at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
What makes 1290 different than any other radio station in Tucson? 1290 is the home of the Arizona Wildcats, the NFL, and the Super Bowl. Winner. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
The heat is here. Unfortunately, as some of you turn on your AC, you'll find nothing happens. It makes weird noises or just blows hot air. We hope it doesn't happen to you, but if it does, don't panic. Call Rightway and we'll get an expert out to your home.
If your AC is in need of repairs, book today and save 15%. Call or text 520-385-7173 or visit rightwayac.com. If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downy are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/DC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
What's with the earmuffs, Gary?
Holy cannoli. I just got back from a house with the loudest AC I've ever heard.
In other words, it wasn't installed right.
It must have been installed upside down for all that noise.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
If your air conditioner sounds like...
It could sound like...
We stop vibrations so your AC runs smooth and cool.
People all over Arizona are singing about the Grizzly.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
Shh! Hear that?
I don't hear anything.
That means
the Grizzly's doing its job, keeping you cool
with barely a purr.
We believe ACs should sound like this.
Because we do things the Alaskan way, not the cheap way.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.com.
Listen to the home of the Wildcats wherever you are on your iPhone and iPad by downloading our new app in the App Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports, sponsored by Allstate. Congratulations to the New York Liberty, who became the first team in the WNBA to clinch a playoff spot this season. New York defeated the two-time defending league champion Las Vegas Aces on Saturday to improve to 23-4 on the year. The first-place Liberty have two players that just won gold with the U.S. basketball team, while their star Breanna Stewart has 2 league MVP awards. Sabrina Ionescu is leading the squad in points and assists. New York lost in the WNBA Finals last year, but behind the play of Ionescu, they could be on a path towards their first championship in franchise history.
Obviously, it's a really long season. We're just kind of getting back into it, but it's nice to kind of see we've been able to pick up where we left off and keep grinding away.
The Liberty are back in action tonight at home against the Dallas Wings. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Amber Theo Harris on Westwood One.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. It's the 5 o'clock hour, and it's time for our Arizona Insiders.
Am I late? No, my boy, you're just in time.
Each weekday, Wildcats Radio 1290 brings you all the latest news and opinions on U of A football. So bear down, Tucson, and let's talk Arizona football. Our Arizona Insiders are brought to you by Coors Light, official corporate sponsors of Arizona Athletics. There's nothing like game day in Arizona.
And it is National Radio Day here in the United States. It's also National Bacon Lovers Day. And did you know it's also World Mosquito Day? I got bit by a mosquito last night trying to see this blue moon that my wife was raving about.
So what you're saying
it
is
didn't look too blue to me.
It was a super blue moon, actually.
It looked white.
The next one is in like 22 years. So that mosquito jumped the gun.
Yeah, he jumped the gun by one day. Bit me last night. All right, let's talk some Arizona football. Wildcat breakdown, joined by my man Glenn Howe, U of A football class of 1985. But before we even get to Arizona football, I knew Glenn Howe could probably be a history teacher here in Southern Arizona, because we were struggling to find out if who else beside what other dignitaries of the University of Arizona might have spoken at a Republican or Democratic national convention. Glenn Howe comes with the entire list.
Yes, I had Mo Udall, 1980.
Mo Udall.
1980. Yes, Mo Udall. He's everybody who has played hoop in this.
Oh yeah,
in this city has played at Mo Udall over on Tanker Verde. Has played some, and that's the guy that's named after is Mo Udall, who's the congressman from University of Arizona and the state of Arizona. and then also Senator Dennis Deconcini.
There you go.
Also,
see,
so we got some. So it's really good.
That is impressive to have. Again, I knew that Steve Kerr was probably not the first, but I needed somebody with a little bit longer longevity than me here in Southern Arizona to come with exactly who else would have been on that list. Leave it to Glenn Howe, who knows more than just football, folks. He is one intelligent son of a gun. All right, Glenn, let's talk about Arizona football. Before we get into, we're going to break down the tight ends and the linebackers today. I want to start with special teams because we were talking a little bit yesterday about Tyler Loop and just the gun of a leg that young man has. And I was telling J-Dub, I don't think that I've ever seen anybody kick it in fall camp the way that Tyler Loop has kicked the football in fall camp. I mean, that kid has just got range. Like, I've never seen it. Any kicker, and I've been here, this is year 17 for me, I've not seen that kind of range from any kicker.
Yeah, Dave, and we were sitting there watching it in amazement. It wasn't a line drive on those long ones. It was like a nine. He took a wedge and just hit it in, just right above. And he was like probably about 10 feet, maybe not even 10 feet, maybe 5 feet below the top of the goalpost. That he would just put those in there, and that was like 50 yards, 60 yards. He did that 60-yarder. He's just a great kicker with a lot of leg, and we just don't understand. I don't know if anybody understands how important that is, because I understand that as a player because I had Max Sendejas. And Max Sendejas can kick it from anywhere. Anytime Max was in the game, except for his last kick, it was just amazing. I mean, just it can win you ball games, and that is an extra thing that we have on this team, which I think is a very good team. That if you have special teams, because it's all three phases of the game, it's offense, defense, and special teams. And if you have good special teams, you have a good chance to win in your ball games.
All right, we broke down the offensive line last week, Glenn. Let's talk a little bit about the tight ends because this is a pretty stacked room.
Yeah, let's do the linebackers first. I like to have the dessert. I like
okay.
to have the dessert second. I like because let's talk about the linebackers. Then we'll have the dessert because the tight ends. I'm just really excited about.
Well,
them.
there you go.
Let's have dessert. Let's have them second.
Well, there you go. So obviously, there is no better linebacker than Jacob Manu. I mean, when you just look at this, the way that this young man is put together. Again, 5'11", 228, solid as a rock pounds. And I don't know if you heard Danny Gonzalez just rave about him last week, but he has consistently from day one said this kid is the best linebacker in the Big 12. So he better be ready because teams are going to be coming to knock him off that pedestal and prove that their guys are better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Jacob wants that. He wants that. He wants to be on the top of the heap and everybody come for him. And I think that's real important. That he has that attitude, and you can tell by his attitude of way he practices. When he's in practice, he's always very, very precise on his steps, and that's what Danny Gonzalez was saying. This guy's a technician too. When you're a technician and you have talent, and then all of a sudden now you put on intelligent. You're intelligent. You're a smart player. You're very high IQ, football IQ. That's the complete package. That is what you have, a complete package.
We're chatting with Glenn Howe, U of A football class of 1985. It is Wildcat Breakdown. He's our Arizona Insider, brought to you by Coors Light. Coors Light, stay with the chill for sure. Coors Light, an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. When you talk about who's going to play next, I mean, the main question obviously coming into camp was who was going to play next to Jacob Manu. Yep. And obviously early on, That has been Tay Brown, a sophomore out of Chandler Hamilton. And that was one of the things when we talk about the Jetfish regime, and they wanted to go out and get some of these guys from the schools in Arizona that win. Chandler wins. Chandler Hamilton wins. Basha wins. And so this is a young man that comes into this program knowing how to play winning football. He got a taste of it last year. Now this is his opportunity to be the guy who can step in and be the running partner with Jacob Manu.
What I believe, this is what I believe, is that if we can get a guy that understands his position, that plays next to Jacob Manu, and he plays and understands no mental mistakes, understands his role, everything, Jacob Manu is going to be even better than he was last year. Okay? You need to have somebody next to him that he doesn't have to worry about him. He doesn't, and they play together, and they're understanding each other and reading each other. Because the linebackers have to they have to understand each other. The best example of that was Ricky and Lamont Hundley playing in that middle. They knew each other. They played off each other, and that's what made them great. Is because they understood that they didn't have to worry about that other person being in the right gap, understanding where they're supposed to be. I think if they can get that second player, and there's a couple guys in there. You got Sterling Lane, you got Sua, you got some other guys in there that are going to be able to play, that will be in there ready to play, and you got to give them you're going to give them a shot, and they're the best player is going to play, obviously, but if you have rotations in there, but we really like to have some guy that's going to be in there consistently.
And I want to ask you, Glenn, just before, let's kind of stay maybe on the inside before we get to the outside, because we've seen some different things with the outside linebackers in fall camp this year. Jared Small is a guy that comes in here, a transfer out of Tulane, and got off to a little bit of a slow start in camp, but really kind of by the second week was starting to kind of make a name for himself as an older guy who could come in here and be an impact player at that position as well, either as as one of those rotational guys that gets in there.
Yeah, and are those guys, are they going to line them up on the edge? Are they going to line them up, inside? Because we're attack defense. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be attacking. So we got to get guys that know how to get through traffic and be able to get to the quarterback. And that's what they're going to be able to have to do. They got to have to learn how to get skinny. They're going to learn how to come hard. They're going to take on some of the big guys up front. But are they going to be able to be elusive and get to the quarterback? It's just like Teddy Bruschi was. Teddy Bruschi was a guy that wasn't that big, but he was just low to the ground. He'd play at different positions and be able to get to the quarterback, and was very elusive.
And we've seen some different things, Glenn, in terms of how they're utilizing the linebackers. We've seen some traditional defensive end situations, but we've also seen some situations out there this camp where they've got linebackers standing up on the edge and kind of going into a more of a 4-2 look with this defense. And that's where you've got some guys like your Lance Kennelly, the transfer out of Stanford, who comes into play. We've seen Sterling Lane kind of playing as well in that role. It's going to be interesting when they're using the traditional defensive end, or maybe they're going more to that 4-2 and using a linebacker on the edges.
That's the great thing about Dwayne's defense, is that we really have multiple looks that we can use, because we got multiple athletes. We got guys that can really get to the edge and get to the quarterback. You just got those guys that are just Trey Smith. I mean, he's a guy that you might see him standing up too. I saw him standing up a little bit, and he's that guy's 6'5", 270. So there's multiple looks that you're going to have. If he stands up, what is he going to do? Is the tackle going to take, or is a running back going to get him? You put in different situations where you're in a disadvantage as an offense when you have to go against those guys. And I really like the way Dwayne is just moving those guys all around, and they're just getting upfield.
We've talked a lot about, on the offensive side of the ball with Caden Luke, but you've got another local kid on the defensive side in Tyler Mustaine, who is trying to work his way into potentially getting some playing time. Good to see him, a kid. And we don't see too many kids out of Push Ridge Christian Academy who get a chance to play on this U of A roster. Tyler Mustaine was a big-time player on the high school level.
Yes, he was. I trained Tyler for a couple of years, his junior and senior year. He was one of my guys, and, he's a great athlete. He looks the part. I'm going to tell you that right now. He looks the part. He really does. He's very well built. He's fast, and he's really a prick, man. He's really a guy that is really a nasty kind of guy, because he played with Will Way and those guys, so I used to go to their games and watch them play, and he's really kind of a nasty guy there, and that's what you have to be as a linebacker. And I knew that Tyler was going to be able to work his way into that as being a walk-on. He's going to be noticed because he's 6'2", 240, 235, 240, and he can run. He can absolutely run. So that's what you need on this type of defense.
All right, we'll pick up a little bit more with the linebackers when we come back. It's Wildcat Breakdown. Our Arizona insider, Glenn Howell, is joining us, but we want to get you home safely this afternoon, as we do every 20 minutes on the Fives. Here's Cricket with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported. We've got Twin Peaks and Silver Bell just reported, Silver Bell and Twin Peaks. We've got Broadway and Kolb Road, some slowing at that intersection. Oracle and McGee and Oro Valley slowing on Oracle at McGee. Also clearing Wilmot and Carondelet, Orange Grove and First Avenue, Alvernon and Grant Road, some slowing on Alvernon at Grant Road. And for your weather, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for South Central Pima County and Western Santa Cruz County, and it is 1:03 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Time with family, laughs with friends, and cash back. Discover's got you covered on the last one. That's because Discover doubles all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cash Back Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
It is the weekend. Woo!
Peach Mania and the Green Chili Roast tomorrow and Sunday.
Green chili, what? Wait, what?
Green Chili Roast. They'll roast up the green chilies for you.
I'll be there.
I know, right? You can buy like a 50-pound burlap sack
Nothing
of chilies.
smells better than green chilies roast.
So good, right?
I don't know what I'm doing yet for fun this weekend.
You're going to the mud pit.
I don't think I'm going to the mud pit.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
I'm Joe Ostrowski here to help you beat the books with BetQL. Week 0 is fast approaching, but the BetQL model also has plenty of analysis on tap for a full slate of college football action in Week 1. BetQL loves Indiana laying a big number at home against FIU. BetQL has IU minus 20.5 as a 5-star best bet. I'm Joe Ostrowski. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's with the earmuffs, Gary?
Holy cannoli. I just got back from a house with the loudest AC I've ever heard.
In other words, it wasn't installed right.
It must have been installed upside down for all that noise.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
If your air conditioner sounds like...
It could sound like...
We stop vibrations so your AC runs smooth and cool.
People all over Arizona are singing about the Grizzly.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.
Shh, hear that?
I don't hear anything.
That means
The Grizzlies doing its job, keeping you cool
with barely a purr.
We believe ACs should sound like this.
because we do things the Alaskan way, not the cheap way.
If you want the air conditioner built for Arizona heat, get the super quiet Grizzly from Alaskan AC.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-859-3220. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-859-3220. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-859-3220. 800-859-3220 or biglou.com.
1290 is the only radio station that can bring you all the action of Arizona Wildcats with Brian Jeffries behind the mic for Arizona Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Fun for the crew, fun for the family, fun for everyone. Dave & Buster's is the place to be for all things fun. With hundreds of awesome games, massive screens showing every single game, and their incredible menu of top-notch food and drinks. There's no better place to eat, drink, play, and watch than Dave & Buster's. Make Wednesday the highlight of your week at Dave & Buster's by experiencing half-price games on Wednesdays. That's right, every arcade game, half-price. Dave & Buster's at Tucson Marketplace, your Wednesday game day viewing spot.
This is Zach Gelb with the Sports Minute, sponsored by Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours. Ever since Peyton Manning retired, the Broncos have completely failed in finding their next QB. And Denver shocked many when taking Bo Nix 12th overall during this past draft. And through 2 preseason games, Bo is impressed, leading 6 scoring drives while completing 70% of his passes with 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. Bo obviously has a long ways to go, but at least Denver fans have some hope at QB, and that's all they could ask for. I'm Zach Gelb.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
O'Reilly. Don't miss out on summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get 15% off a set of Brake Best Select, Select Pro, or Import Direct brake pads and 2 rotors. Restore quality braking and improve stopping performance with parts and advice from the professional parts people. Save money now when you visit O'Reilly Auto Parts or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wildcat Breakdown, chatting Arizona football with our guy Glenn Howe, U of A football class of 1985. Glenn, I want to wrap up our talk on the linebackers, touching on 2 other guys here real quick. Leviticus Sua, a redshirt freshman out of Mater Dei, the great Mater Dei in Southern California, another Trinity League product. He's kind of, to me, the wild card. He's a guy that I think could find his way on the field. I mean, he really has started to play well here in the last a few weeks, and obviously comes from again another winning program.
Absolutely, and he looks the part. Also, he definitely looks the part. He's like 6'2", 230, 240. I mean, the kid just is played aggressive. And, you know, it's all about, at this level, it's all about knowing your assignment and alignment is so important. And your technique. Assignment, alignment, technique. That's what you have to understand. If you can put those 3 together, just like I was telling when we were at the practice the other day, and Caden Luke came off and he missed the block, and they were just really railing on him. I sent him a text, man. Assignment, alignment, and technique. That's
Yeah.
what you have to understand at this level. It's so important for this level that you just cannot be able to get away from that. You can't just have your assignment and then you don't have your right alignment, okay? And then one of those, it has to be all three of those things. It's got to be in order to have a successful play. And, Leviticus has just really been playing, doing his job. That's what you get an opportunity. At that position, there's a lot of things that people are scrambling. And it's, you know what the good thing is about Dave? Is that we have guys that are competing for a job, multiple guys. So you hear of multiple names. If you hear multiple names, that means we're starting to build some depth on this team.
And lastly, what do you think we're going to see this year from Justin Flo?
Justin Flo, man, if he puts it all together, we've been waiting for him for a little bit to really get, his just assignment. And he's the guy that really needs assignment and alignment and technique. Just do his thing. And he's a guy that probably was the guy that they just let him go in high school. Just line up anywhere you want, dude, on the defense. Just make a play, And that's exactly what he did, So he really wasn't a disciplined guy, but he has to be disciplined. Because in Dwayne's defense, you really got to be disciplined of where you're at. Stay in your lane, be aggressive. But they're allowing you to be aggressive, but you got to be able to stay in your assignment. And I like to see Justin really, have a breakout season. He's a guy that makes big plays. He's definitely one of those guys.
Pleased to be joined by Glenn Howe, UVA football class of 1985. He's our Arizona insider, brought to you by Coors Light. Coors Light, choose chill, an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. All right, let's get to the dessert, Glenn, and that is the tight end position. We talk about the running back room being stacked. This room has turned out to be a pretty stacked room as well, led by Keon Burnett, who is likely ready now for his breakout. It's really interesting to look down and see Junior next to his name, just because obviously he's been overshadowed by Tanner McLaughlin for 2 years, but played a lot of football, enough that, he never redshirted, played as a freshman, played last year as a sophomore, and now as a junior, but finally getting his opportunity to be the go-to guy.
Yeah, and Dave, the guy has worked his buns off, I just sent you a picture of me and him when he was a freshman. He looked like but he was on the U of A basketball team. Okay. You can see him, he's a legit 6'6". Cause I'm 6'4", I'm standing next to him. He's got at least 2 inches on me, and he just looked so skinny. And now he just looks like a tight end. He's ready to take all that hard work and put it on the field, and him being the guy. The stuff that I've been seeing on him, the way he's running the routes, he's running routes better, he's blocking better, he's more aggressive, and the confidence that he has. I think it's going to be a breakout season for him.
What do you think we're going to see in a lot of this 12 personnel, double tight ends, whether it's Keon Burnett and Tyler Powell, whether it's Roberto Miranda and maybe Sam Olsen out there? What do you think we're going to see in a lot of these 12 personnel sets?
And don't forget Dorian Thomas.
Yeah.
Man. He's a great receiver. They're just stacked. I think we're going to see a lot of maybe option routes with these guys, because they're going to be a mismatch for linebackers, and then they're going to be a mismatch for safeties. They really are. And then we're going to probably see some screens for these guys too, which I really love, the tight end screen. Dino is really creative on what he's doing with his personnel. And I just think that, these guys, like I always said with tight ends, you got to block to get the rock, man. You got to block. You got to block first.
That's what Alonzo Carter likes to say.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Well, that's what I've been saying that for years. You know, we've been together for years.
Yeah.
You got to block first, and then you get rewarded. You got to be able to block. You got to be a tenacious. You got to be a real aggressive blocker on the line of scrimmage. Because if you do that, that gives your offensive coordinator confidence that that when you get that reward, you're going to take care of it. You know, you got to make the run game go, and the more the run game goes, the more availability we have for play action to the tight end.
Glenn, Sam Olsen doesn't have the height that Tyler Powell and Keon Burnett brings, but it just seems like he's slippery, man. It just seems like he finds a way to get open, the transfer from San Jose State.
That comes with experience. That's knowing when on a cover two where you're going to say you got to stop before you get to the numbers, because that corner's waiting for you to knock your head off. Okay, he knows those things. You can tell that he is understanding coverages, where those people are, and he's finding himself inside the holes where there's left with holes on zone coverage. You know, he understands that. You got to be able to be a guy that, as a tight end, and nowadays you see Kelsey, he does that same thing. He may eliminate he might have a route, and then he sees a different coverage. He's running into the open space. That's what Olsen knows. Olsen knows that. He's a smart kid. He understands the things. And then once, Noah and him and all these tight ends get they're on the same page, we're going to see a lot of third and 6, 3rd and 8. Those guys are going to be able to get the ball, and we're going to be able to. And I love the packages they put in the 12 personnel on the goal line. That is a really nice package. It's not just a run package; it's a pass package too.
All right, Glenn, we will look forward to our next opportunity to break down a position group coming up either later this week or early next week. As always, appreciate your time.
All right, bear down, fellas.
Thanks to Coors Light for bringing you today's Arizona Insiders on Wildcats Radio 1290. Coors Light, official corporate sponsors of Arizona Athletics. There's nothing like game day in Arizona. And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Pima men's soccer opening up their season this weekend. 21 players from Southern Arizona, as well as players from Switzerland, South Korea, Spain, Norway, Sweden, Ireland, Mexico, Germany. Dave Cosgrove, you've been flying all over the world to get these guys?
Yeah, that sounds like a perfect plan. If I was a little bit smarter, that's probably the way I would have planned it. But, yeah, we have about a roster of about 34 kids this year, and 7 are international. So we have about 20% of our kids that are international. We kind of handpick them, and we work with people we know in those countries who have sent us players before, so they're completely reliable. For instance, the South Korean kids, we've had a great connection with South Korean kids before. So when we get recommended a kid, honestly, we just look at the video, looks right to us. We trust the people that we work with. So, I'd like to say I'm doing all this legwork and traveling. But the reality is it's a couple phone calls and a lot of good faith and people around the world helping us out a ton.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, that is going to wrap up our show for today on National Radio Day. Or was it National Chocolate Pecan Pie Day? Maybe it was National Bacon Lovers
I'm going to go eat some
Day.
bacon.
Maybe World Mosquito Day. Don't get bit tonight. Thanks to Glenn Howe for joining us. Thanks to Dave Cosgrove. We appreciate him as well. Get on out there. I think his guys are playing right now. You might still be able to catch some time. For JW Madden and Cricket, my name is David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you tomorrow, 3 o'clock. DK on the Sports Tip. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Collisions that are reported, Alvernon and Grant, some slowing on Alvernon at Grant Road, Oracle and McGee, Kolb Road and Broadway Boulevard, and also Twin Peaks and Silver Bell. And also the earlier severe thunderstorm warning has weakened below severe limits, but there's still a chance for maybe some rain and maybe some wind as well. 102 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Get immersed in new worlds and ideas with Audible. Explore an incredible selection of audiobooks, podcasts, and originals, all in one easy app. There's more to imagine when you listen. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
A lot can happen between falling in love with a house online.